How can we create a beautiful mixed media journal page using a painted portrait? Hi, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know about you, but I adore museum gift shops. And recently I stopped by the one by our Belvedere Palace Museum and picked up this beautiful postcard by a painter named Hans Macad called The Artist's Cousin. Macad has an interesting history of which I would like to share a snippet with you here. So he was an Austrian painter, designer and decorator, and is best known for his influence on Gustav Klimt and other Austrian artists. He was a celebrity in the high culture of Vienna and had almost a cult-like following. He was born in Salzburg in 1840, which is also the city where Mozart had been born. And initially, Macad received his training in painting at the Vienna Academy, but was found to be devoid of all talent by his instructors and was forced to leave the Vienna Academy. He then went to Munich, Germany, for independent studies for about 2 years, and then later traveled on to London, Paris, and Rome to further his studies. Years later, Macad became the acknowledged leader of the artistic life of Vienna. Just imagine that. He not only practiced painting, but he was an interior designer, a costume designer, a furniture designer, and a decorator. And his work decorated most of the public spaces of the era. His work engendered the term Macad Style, which completely characterized the era. So this goes to show, do not give up. No matter if your friends or family tell you that what you're doing in your journals isn't anything and you should stop because why are you wasting your time? Please don't listen to them. Please don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. I think this story really shows that anything is possible. Just listen to what your heart is telling you to do and don't let anyone stop you. I just love this backstory to him. Unfortunately, I couldn't find hardly any information about this painting in particular, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love how glamorous it is. And so I'm going to try to make, hopefully, a beautiful mixed media journal page using this. And this is the bag it came in. Obviously, I'm going to use that in some form, but I'm not sure that I'm going to use it in this particular spread because unless I cover it all, I don't think it will work with what I have in mind. So the way I would start off for a project like this is I would look what is going on in whatever I want to use as my focal point. So looking at her, I'm going to look at the colors and the vibe the picture is giving me. So the vibe it's giving me is it's very glamorous and elegant. And the colors here I see are black and like an orangey yellow. And there's a lot of bling here and silver and gold, florals here, more gold here on her arms. So there's a lot here that already tells us what kind of materials might work with this kind of painting. So I just went through mostly what was already laying on my desk. So let me just show you briefly what I found. This was not on my desk. I had recently bought a couple of these. They are gold and shiny from one of my local stores. And then I just grabbed some scraps that were on my desk that I thought maybe would work in some way. And this here is a mixture of some of my some of my scraps, and some of these scraps like these and A lot of these here actually are from Hanni, whose journal I'm going to be adding this to. So I thought that was very, very fitting. So here I just have a scrap of coffee dyed paper with some gold paint on it. I have some wallpaper, my goodness. Wallpaper. This here has some gold on it. This will add some beautiful texture. This is like this gold kind of color. This is a jelly plate print from Hanni. This is some baking paper that I had used my die cuts on, and it has some gold on it, so maybe we can use some of that. These are some more absolutely gorgeous jelly prints from Hanni. This was a wrapping paper that obviously Hanni had made herself. This is another piece of that. This is a piece from me from my mixed media masterboard that I had made, and then I used that for a cover, and this is just a snippet I had left over. This is more or less random. Just some leftover black paint with my splatter brush and then just dabbing that on a book page. And this is another gorgeous jelly plate print from Hanni. Some of the techniques I'm going to use today for making this are very much inspired by one of my lovely design team members, Susanne from Bollenhut Art. She has an absolutely gorgeous video of her making a page in this style, but instead of a print, she actually uses a hand-drawn face, which she then collaged onto a white, like kind of a, I think it was just a copy paper, maybe it was heavier, I don't remember. So she added a lot of hand sewing and also some machine sewing, some beads and glittery things, and I think some florals and different fabrics and anything you could think of basically. And the whole thing looked so gorgeous that this has been stuck in my mind for a while now. Unfortunately, this video is in German only. There's no subtitles. So if you speak German, then please head over to that video. It is definitely worth seeing. I really enjoyed it. But if you don't speak German, then at least here you can see what her result looks like and what a similar page that she did previously looked like. So I really, really wanted to try this method. I'm going to use this as my background instead of the white that she has. This is just a scrap piece of packaging. And actually I should decide, because this is a more shiny side and this is a more rough side. The way she did it, she did her collage, and when it was done, she tore around it so that you couldn't see any of the white paper in the end. I want to use this one instead of a white one, just so that in the end I would have the option to maybe leave some of the paper showing or not. I can then decide that, but I wouldn't want a white one showing. So other things I have beside me that I am going to consider using is these here. I think these might go very well. Let me put this beside her. So I think these might fit really well. Then I have some black and white feathers, so maybe we'll use some of those. I think those would work really well. It looks like she's wearing like a fur coat or something, or like a drape. Maybe instead I could just add some feathers. And I also have my box of lace here, and I was particularly thinking of a black lace, maybe. I really don't know yet. And finally, I also had to copy something that Susanne has in some of her videos, and it is a beautiful little bowl. Hers is a silver little plate actually, on which she has a whole bunch of little fun things that you could add to a mixed media collage like this. And I loved it so much. Hers is very special because it's from her grandmother. Well, this one is very special to me as well because this is from my mom. And so I totally copied Susanne in having this, and I think beside the fact that I just love playing around with these, I could just look at these all day long. I just think it's a very inspiring thing to have on your craft desk because it will make you use these. If I have these just in boxes stored away in a cupboard, I'm much less likely to use things like this than if I have them right in front of my nose. So thank you so much, Susanne, for that inspiration. Looking at this, of course, the whole style is very dark, and I don't want my collage to be so dark, and I think it's more fun if we cut her out to get rid of this dark background, and then we can play better with some elements behind her. It's kind of hard to see here where the fur ends, where the background starts, but I will do my best to cut that out. I think it's really fun to take like an old masterpiece and then to put it into a modern mixed media setting. I mean, if Macad knew this, he probably wouldn't be so happy. But I think that's art, right? We can use someone else's art and make it our own. How fun is that? So I think this is much better to work with. We have a lot more possibilities this way. So let's pull our papers, our scraps. Let's leave the butterflies for now and see what would work with this collage. I love this paper. I mean, I love all of these, to be honest. So, just going to tear a bit and start layering these behind her. Now I might totally change these up again, but I have to start somewhere. So I am simply going to just try different things. So this yellow, this beautiful yellow, is similar to the flowers here and even to her red hair. As always, I'm kind of sticking to rectangular shapes. Rectangular-ish. I will get rid of those white edges. I definitely don't want those, but we'll see. So instinctively, I'm putting the yellow here to the side. It could be this side or it could be this side rather than on the bottom, because going with my triangle theory, I'm trying to build a triangle with the colors. So we have this dark yellow here, here, and now we have it here. So this makes a triangle. If I would put it down here, we have them all in a line, which is another way of doing it, I guess. But for me, I always find that the triangles work best. Maybe I will turn this around. And again, this might still totally change, but those are my initial thoughts. This brown is awesome as well. I think this is from one of Hanni's jelly plate prints. I love this one so much. But see, we have again the yellow. So now if I add this somewhere else, my triangle theory then totally doesn't work. So much for that. Maybe I should put it down here. Then I definitely want to add some of this wrapping paper. Just want to know which color works best. How about this piece here? I like that. Kind of like this splattering to kind of like come from her hair. Definitely want some gold in my collage. And this blue also works, because even though this is definitely not blue but silver, I think it kind of works together. And if I'm putting blue here, I could also put some blue on the opposite side. Maybe just a tiny part here with a leaf. Also like this black one. This is again from Hanni's jelly printing. Since I have a lot of black down here, I don't want to add more black anywhere on this part, so it would have to be up here. I already have this dark brown, but maybe I could even just add some black behind that to balance it out a bit more, because there's a lot of black going on here. But then again, I might add some black feathers or lace as well, so that again might change. So So what do we need here? We definitely need something here and here. And I want to kind of fill it all up before I start adding things like lace and feathers and things. This would be more yellow. This would add more black. Maybe we could add a little bit more black. That works for me. Add some dots. I really love working with scraps like this. Just some leftover scraps from other projects that you have laying around your desk is, I think, one of the most fun things. Piece of this wallpaper. What about some of this for here? Maybe from this part here. It has some black in it, and this looks quite elegant, these swirls here. I deliberately have the text of the book page here upside down because I don't want to be distracted by any words here. It's not about the words, it's about the visual effect of the font and the dots. Okay, this is quite busy. I'm wondering if I should just kind of move everything a little bit more in to make the whole thing a bit smaller. I don't know if there's any point in that. Probably not. Don't think it will seem less busy that way. I'm quite happy with the arrangement of this now. Before I glue these parts down, I want to see if I want to add any other elements that will just make it seem so luxurious and elegant. And I might want to tuck some of these under things, which is why I didn't want to glue them down yet. So maybe we start off with the butterflies. I would love to add one of these here. Try the big one. Just like that. I actually really love that. What about on the other side? Now, for some reason, I like the right side better. Let's see what the small one would look like. I actually think I like the big one better. Yeah, it seems more luxurious, like everything is kind of exaggerated a little bit, because look at these amazing earrings in her dress. It really looks like that is also like exaggerated a lot. I mean, it's gorgeous. So I kind of want to go with that vibe of excess. Then I want to add either the lace or this beautiful applique. Both of these are from Happy Meals. Look how gorgeous this is. Naturally, I would want to put it like where the black in the painting is, so over the fur. It would cover her hands, but you can still kind of see through this netting. Or maybe we could just move that down a little bit. I do like that. What if we use the lace instead, just a piece of lace? Of course, that is more sheer. We could add a little bit of lace under the butterfly. So if we leave this here like that, and then maybe we cut off a piece. We could somehow, maybe. Not sure. Everything is moving. Quite tricky when you have so much going on your page. What if we cut it down more? And we add a piece under here. I like that a lot better. You can hardly see the leaf now. Oh, you can still see it peeking out. Now what about feathers? The white one to balance the black, because I think if we add more black, it's gonna be very, well, it is pretty, but wait, let's see. Let me cut off this because this is too big. Oh no, I'm gonna have this everywhere now. I'm doing a horrible job at this. Thinking either maybe under this applique. That might be too much. Or maybe we just take this tip and add that under the butterfly. Like that. What about under her head? So like it's kind of in her hair. That might be cute. Like we can see it peeking out from her hairdo. Yes, that is it. And then maybe we'll add a gemstone or something on top. Yes, I do like that. Okay. I have feathers flying everywhere. So now, what about the white one? Do we need the white one? Down here? We can still decide that later. So now I'm dreading gluing all of this down. Oh my goodness, where do I start? All right, I'm gonna take my art glitter glue because of the fine metal tip. I have these linked below in case you need one. I do think this is the best kind of glue and easiest to use for collaging. Although for the applique, I should rather use my fabric glue, so I need to grab that. This is definitely a piece for top-down gluing method because there's no way I'm gonna be able to put this back together like it was if I start taking it apart and gluing from the bottom up. So this is going to be tricky. I will start off by putting some textile glue here. Actually, that wasn't smart. This one I could have done afterwards, after everything was glued down, but okay. It's on now. All right, the rest I will think I will do with this. So this I will add later and just not glue her whole head down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take her off and glue her completely. Oh, I wasn't gonna do that, right? I was gonna leave a part here for the feather. Or I could just, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll do this and then I'll just put the feather here. And that way it's in the right place. Just love that feather, how that comes out. I just don't know if that was the fashion then or not. We will make it the fashion. That is our decision for our piece of art now. So hopefully we, oh, yeah, well, it is what it is. It's not ideal because look, she's gonna be glued down here, meaning that I won't be able to get any of the pieces off, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with that now. Just have to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to go, because once I put it down, it will be very difficult to move. And now I can glue all the bits down that aren't glued yet. Just kind of lift everything from the side and make sure that everything is glued down. So once everything is glued down, it is now easier for me to see what else might be needed. Although this is already very busy, but that's what I'm going for with this collage. This is not a typical collage of mine, I would say. And I feel like it needs something down here in this corner. So I'm wondering if I should use this white feather, cut it down maybe until here, and just have that like that. Yep, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna think too much about it and just do it. Just going to put some glue on the spine of the feather. Is that called spine? I don't know. Because I want it to stay fluffy. So I don't want to glue any of the actual feather bits down. Now I'm thinking before I add any gemstones or any beads or anything like that, do I want to add some hand stitching? I do love that look and the extra texture. Although we already have a lot of texture here, we can add some hand stitching. Why not? I'm going to take this color of embroidery thread because I think it's a similar color to the yellow that we have here. And I want to add it, I think down here, because I have it here, I have it here, I have a little bit here. You can hardly see this now because there's so much of it here. So I think it's good to have it down here. And I thought maybe I could, oh, but that is tricky because if I was thinking I could maybe put 3 crosses here. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put 3 crosses around the stem of this flower on the applique. I'm gonna take my awl to poke some holes to make it easier. Try not to poke myself. Actually, I'm gonna get something to put underneath. Knowing myself, I would poke my finger. So I just have this piece of packaging that I can put underneath. Okay, let's poke some holes. So if I want crosses, I'm never going to be able to find these holes actually. So 4 holes makes 1 cross, 8 makes 2, and 12 makes 3 if I'm correct. Maud's beautiful needle book that she made me. I can see the holes from the back, but not from the front. Well, if I hold it up, I can see the light coming through, so maybe that will be okay. So the first one is easy because I see that from the back. I want to leave a piece that I can then maybe just tape down with some tape. Okay, hopefully that was the right hole. Now I'll just go under some of these to get closer to the beginning. And then I'll tie a knot, double knot, and then we won't even need tape. I like it. It's such a nice touch to a collage. I think that's the only one I'm going to do. So now let's see what kind of bling we can add. It's probably the most fun part of all. So we said she needs something here in her hair where the feathers are. I think I want to go with one of the lighter ones. I think I want to go with this small one. Not the smallest, but the second to smallest. Yes, that's it. What about something down here where the feather is? Maybe another one, a bigger one. If we do that, I have to put something here as well. Because then I need a triangle. 1 is okay, 3 is okay, but 2 is not okay. So maybe I will hold off with that. Is there anything here that we could add? I have these golden ones here. That might be nice. What about some sequins? I have a gold sequin here. Nope. Maybe where the flowers are. No, I don't really want to cover those up. Maybe not on her body, maybe just kind of more or less randomly. Maybe there. Okay, let's just leave that there for now. There's another one. Is there any like light yellow or silver? I have silver here. We could mix the silver and the gold because we have that mixed here as well. That would be cool. So like this. And we have dots here, we have dots here. It's actually not so good that they're like lined up. It would be nicer if they were more on a diagonal, but that's kind of hard to do now. I don't want to put them on this side because then they would all be on this side. Although I really like them there, but it just doesn't work with the layout, I think, which is a shame. What if I put them up here? Thing is, if I put them up here, I am committing to not tearing the paper away completely. But I think that's okay. I can live with the brown around it. And this way we have, or I just put them more inside. I can also do that and then I still have the freedom. Yeah, up here it works because you see there's a dynamic there. And what Susanne did is she sewed on some more dimensional pearls onto the sequins, which I really liked. And I do have some small pearls here. I have like some mini turquoise ones. We have a little bit of, you know, this light blue going on here and here. Actually, that would be really good to have some more up there. So I have these tiny, tiny beads. Let's see if I have something for all 3. I have another one, but they don't have to all be the same. I also have a small sequin here, which is like this light green or light turquoise or light teal, maybe I should say. Put that in the middle so that they're not all the same. Then also have this beauty here. I love these. And then they would all be different, but I think I would change this around. This might be too big. Okay, I'm going to take another one of the smaller ones, not use the bigger one. So I'm going to glue down the sequins on the bottom. And also the sequin for the middle. And the two beads I'm going to sew on. The important thing, of course, is to use a needle that goes through the whole of your bead. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I'm taking a black sewing thread like you would use in your sewing machine. So I will first poke holes through the top and bottom sequin so that I know from the back where I need to come through. And then come from the back, go through the sequin, thread it through. And again, I've learned this from Susanne. And then go right back through the hole. And then you can, just thinking, do I just do the second one? I'll just do the second one without cutting the thread. So I'll go through the second hole and do the same thing. And then we can just make a knot again. This is so much fun. I love this way of collaging. Susanne, you are my hero. I just love this. I hope you give it a try. It just adds so much to a collage, to add these kind of fun elements. Now the question is, do we add this gold piece down here? I'm looking through the camera now to see how is it balanced, but actually now I have 4 things here that are catching my eye. If I leave it out, I have my triangle. I still think it needs something. I don't know what else that could be. I have this white rose. It's not as obvious, so maybe this is a better choice. I have the same one in small. Yeah, but it's still 4 things. It's not as obvious as this one. No, maybe I should just leave it alone. It's so hard. So let's take Hanni's beautiful journal and see where we can add this and how much we should actually tear away. I'm so happy this journal is so big because I can really just have fun making bigger things than I would in other journals. I'm looking for a darker page like this, which is similar to my packaging. Actually, this is very, very similar. Might be the same type of packaging. Don't want to lose all of her stenciling. So if I put it on this one, I would tear pretty closely to my collage in order to see. And I really actually love this together with my collage. So I think this is the page I'm going to put it on. That was pretty simple. See, if I would have had white paper underneath, we would have definitely seen some of the white edges, which I would not have liked. So I'm happy I took brown paper. Oh yeah, how beautiful is this stenciling now around this? Oh my goodness, I love it. I love this so much. I'm gonna grab my 3-in-1 glue. I'm gonna turn the whole thing around. I'm going to leave these black threads visible. I like that. And now I'm just gonna put my 3-in-1 glue all over the back side here. This makes me so happy, I can't even tell you. And I think it fits so well to this journal style. I'm leaving it. I'm not adding anything else. I think it is gorgeous as it is. Looks elegant and vintage at the same time. I love this. So maybe you can find an image. Maybe you can even find one on Google or something that you can work with, or you do it like Susanne, you draw your own face and you put that into a collage. Another thing you can do in your beautiful junk journal. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!